From Teachers Pay Teachers to Hooked on Phonics to even more Pinterest crafts, week 3 is done, and I'm going to tell you what worked and what surprisingly did not work this week, so come along with us. And welcome back to our homeschooling recap series where I walk you through day by day each week of how homeschooling our 4-year-old preschooler has been going. This week was filled with a bunch of surprises, so you're definitely going to want to stick around to see what worked and what didn't. We started the week with a Teacher Pays Teachers activity, followed that with Tuesday with Hooked on Phonics. Wednesday, we went into math and did some fun math activities with Dominoes. Thursday, we had a science experiment. We did science with the weather, which was also from Teacher Pay Teachers, and then we finished out the week with our Pinterest crafts. So let's go ahead and dig in day by day. So if you followed along last week, you would heard me say at the end that I was very excited for this week. I thought we had a lot of fun activities planned, and I thought it was going to be a hit. I was totally wrong this week. So Monday is history for us. So we started the week out with a Teachers Pay Teachers activities on community helpers. Now this again was a free activity that I got off of the site. So I did not have to pay for this. It was one of the free downloadables that they had, and it was basically just, they were little posters of all the different community helpers. So anything from police officers to mailmen, mail ladies to nurses, doctors, just covering the whole range of things. And then, so that was one separate document that I got from them. And then the other document that was also free that I downloaded was actually, you could cut out the little people. So I cut them out and laminated them, and then basically you would match them to the little blurb. And I thought she was gonna love this because she's very big into puzzles. She's big into what is this, what is that. So I thought community helpers was going to be a huge win. It was not. I'd already gone into the lesson not wanting to do it. She told me she was not interested. I'm like, well, let's just try it, because I think once we start it, you'll be so interested. And I don't know if it was because Dad was home this Monday due to a doctor's appointment for Esme, but yeah, she was not having it. We ended up cutting the lesson short because it ended up being a total disaster, which made my little mom heart sad. But you know what? It is totally okay. She did get to learn some of it. We did revisit it a little bit later and do a little bit more things with it. But yeah, it definitely was not the hit that I thought it was going to be. Now Tuesday, our usual days that are flops because she's not been a fan of reading and writing, actually went surprisingly well this week. Now I will say that this week we actually had more than just practicing writing in the Hooked on Phonics. We were also working on rhyming words this week, so I did have a hands-on activity already planned where we were tossing a ball back and forth. I would say a word and she would tell me a word back that rhymed with it. She absolutely loved this activity, so I think it just proves to me that hands-on activities is what really truly works with her. So yeah, and she did do a little bit in Hooked on Phonics, not much. We're still definitely struggling on the want to read, but that is totally okay. I'm an avid reader. I love to read. My husband, her dad, is definitely not as much of a book lover, so I know that it's not an every person thing, so we'll work on it. But I'm just really happy to see that for the first week that the reading and writing day really did go well with her. So now Wednesday was math, and once again, math was obviously a hit. We bought some Dominoes at the store, and we actually did some simple addition with the Dominoes. Now the original activity that I planned was just recognizing the numbers on the Dominoes. Now this was another one where I Googled fun math lessons for preschoolers, and this was one that popped up. And basically it was you match the numbers on the Dominoes, one side of it, to a number card. Well, I realized she really does know her numbers, identifying them in that. So we actually started to just go basically in basic addition. I just had her counting them and telling me how many dots were on the dominoes in a whole. And then we started to do, okay, so that means this side is 3 and this side is 1, so that makes 4. And she had a lot of fun with that, just identifying me holding them up and her, identifying them that way. And then she wanted, of course, play dominoes where, well, her version of playing dominoes where you stack them up to knock them over. And interestingly enough, I was like, okay, yeah, we're done with our lesson. She still, as we were doing that, was going, I've got this number, see? This plus this makes this. And I was it was a very proud mama moment there. I was very happy that she was doing that. So as we were doing dominoes for the next 20 minutes, she was still doing the math with it. So totally was a hit. I definitely enjoyed that activity. Now, Wednesday night, we did come down with a cold. Both littles came down with a pretty nasty head cold. So come Thursday, when it was time for science, she was excited, but you could definitely tell she just didn't quite have the energy. Thankfully, it was a very just a very easy activity. It was also, again, from Teachers Pay Teachers, and it was just a weather activity where you observe the weather outside, you have her color and draw it, and then we did have some matching stuff where we were going to cut out and glue it, talking about like what do we wear with each each season and each weather. But she was not feeling it. Even after she got done drawing, she looked at me and she said, Mama, I'm done. And that's perfectly okay. I know you're not feeling well. Like, we can always revisit this a different day if you want. So we didn't get through science day quite, which I think we only took about 10 minutes into it, but she did really well with what she did. You just definitely could tell that head cold was truly getting to her. So but I would say it would have been a win if we were feeling up to it, but we did well with what we had. Last but not least, Fridays, as always, is our arts and crafts day. So once again, we had some more Pinterest craft ideas. So this time we were doing E and F. So we did E is for elephant and F is for flamingo. This was the first time we didn't do any painting, but these were little cutouts, so they were free downloadable printables that I actually found through Pinterest. I do believe that most of them took me to like a separate site that was offering them as a free download. I know the flamingo one for sure because that one I had sent from my email, but I found them all on Pinterest. So they were basically like you colored in the E and you turned it into an elephant, you colored in the F, you turned it into a flamingo. She did actually really like that, so we just cut them out and then glued them onto the pages that I had made in Canva that said E is for. So she had fun doing that. She still wasn't quite feeling the greatest, so we didn't do much more beyond that for crafts, but it's always fun to incorporate our crafts with what we were learning throughout the week. So overall, it wasn't an awful week, but it definitely surprised me how much she did not like that community helpers activity. Again, I'm not sure why. I totally thought it was going to be a hit. Maybe I was more excited about it than she was, which is totally okay. But like I said, I was very excited to see that she was starting to get into more of the reading and writing literacy topics. So we'll definitely incorporate more hands-on activities in the future. And I think that is the greatest part about homeschooling, is that, I'm able to recognize that clearly, just being in it and reading and practicing writing isn't really what's clicking for her, but it's the more hands-on. She's definitely a hands-on learner. So that's the beauty of homeschool, is to be able to recognize that and have the ability to change that, because I know sometimes it can be difficult when you're, in a school setting to be able to say, hey, like this teaching style isn't working for me, because you've got how many other kids in the classroom, so you have to try to do what works for all, not just necessarily for one. And as somebody who definitely grew up with a different learning style than my peers, I totally understand that. So I'm glad that we have that ability and that freedom with homeschooling, and that we're able to fix it and move forward and hopefully make the next lessons even better than the last. So that is all we have for today. Thank you so much for coming along with our journey. If you are homeschooling, let us know in the comments below how your week went. Did your week go better than ours? And if it did, let us know what kind of lessons and activities you are doing. We'd love to hear you share in the comments below. As always, if you liked this video, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you get notified of next week's recap once it drops, and so that you don't miss a week. As always, thank you so much for coming along with us and for watching. We hope you all have a fantastic day, and until next time.